Welcome to another episode of Video Store Rejects. This is a podcast where we discuss directors' filmographies and our favorite film franchises. I'm your host, Cody House. With me, as usual, my co host, Chris Jacobs. He is the social media manager. Most of the things you see posted on our Facebook page, courtesy of him.
I try. I really do. I really try to bring my happiness and joy to the masses. So it's up to you whether you click and give me the likes. I throw it out there and you feed back to me.
And then we have a returning guest, Robbie Flemming, but he's brought along. Hello, Robbie. But he's brought a friend along with him, Mr. Dan Harris. Welcome,
Hi.
Dan.
Thank you.
Gl-
Thanks for me.
Glad to have you on.
Yes, because I like bringing my friends to these Ridley Scott discussions.
Is it because he's from the UK and you guys are from the UK?
Pretty much.
Pretty much,
He
yeah.
is a legend round here.
Yeah, so he probably is more like, not that he's not respected in America, like he is a big name director, but I don't think he gets quite thrown in there with some of our other more famous directors in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes
So-
more movies than other directors do.
Yeah, I think him and Clint Eastwood are working to stay alive.
He's one of my favorites anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. So today we are doing a Ridley Scott Russell Crowe double feature, American Gangster and Body of Lies, because Ridley and Russell, I guess, loved working so much together on Gladiator. They did 4 movies back to back. And these are 2 of them, which are the better 2 of those 4 they did together. But I guess the best word for me to describe both of these movies is these are the kind of movies if like it was raining outside and you were stuck at home on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon and you kind of discovered this on a movie channel, you wouldn't be disappointed like you spent 2 hours or 2.5 hours watching this.
Right? Do you think these fall under the dad movie categories? Like,
Body of
Body
Lies is totally a dad movie.
That is
Yeah.
a dad movie. I reckon
Right.
my dad would like this film.
it's like, son, go to the rent me something. Okay, Dad, I got this. Don't worry. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
you go to-
you're,
I would like that if you
yeah, you're a parent, Chris. Do you like this movie?
well, I'm going to confess something. I did not get a chance to watch these 2 movies, and I have yet to see them. Although I do remember American Gangster coming out, and when Cody explained the plot to me, it started coming back. So I believe I watched it when it first came out, but
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I enjoy these discussions so much. I really just want to sit in today and just be here, So I did miss out on these 2 movies, and I apologize. But as a dad, I can honestly say that American Gangster, I would like to go back and revisit that. But
Yeah.
the other movie sounds like a Lifetime movie almost. Like I'm not too sure about it. Like I might just watch it out of curiosity, but we'll have to see. Because I'm always open to new things. You never know. I might actually like it.
Well, let's go ahead and discuss American Gangster. So what
Because it's a better movie. Of
I
the
thought
two.
I thought it was better.
It is the better movie of the 2, but also because it came out first. What do you guys like? What do you guys like about this movie?
It's based on a true story.
I mean it's based on a true story. It's a pretty impressive story, especially for our history and the character. Though I know a lot of people criticize the movie for kind of like making Frank Lucas more of like a heroic folk hero, even though he was a drug dealer and a gangster. And I don't know if
Kind of an anti-hero.
A little bit. And I don't know if it's because Denzel Washington's playing him, and typically Denzel plays more, even when he plays bad guys usually, except for probably Training Day, because he's pretty terrible in that movie. Not acting wise, but his character.
Right.
There's usually like some sort of code of ethics, which Frank Lucas does have a code of ethics, like, even though he's a gangster.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were you about to say, Dan?
Can't
About
remember.
Denzel Washington?
He did a great performance in it.
I mean, all the time, right? He's
Yeah.
probably my favorite movie star.
He's
And
one
he's
of-
A little antidote. That man pulled out his checkbook and wrote a check for a hospital wing, like a military hospital wing.
Ooh, good on him.
yeah, good
One
on him.
time, yeah, he just like, here you go. You know what? I'm gonna donate. Here's a hospital wing, guys.
Yeah, he's just an incredible performer and always, in my opinion, elevates whatever he's in. Even if the movie's bad, he's never bad. He's just one of the most charismatic, engaging performers we have.
He was the only good thing about the film, The Little Things.
Actually,
Oh, and that's another reason why I like him. So we all know about Jared Leto's BS and his drama he does with his roles, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
They asked Denzel Washington, did he pull any of that while they were filming that movie? And Denzel said, no, didn't do anything to me, because if he had, we would have had some words.
I could see Denzel taking him aside and putting him in his place. Like, hey, buddy, don't pull any of that shit with me.
We need him over here, though.
Yeah, we need him over here. We got a lot of people we need to have him to have words with.
He might have pulled what he did to Idris Elba in this movie.
Yes, that's one of the things I want to talk about today, actually.
So, Chris, in the movie, Denzel's character starts out as like this valet to this famous gangster in Harlem who's basically also like a folk hero. Like, he gets back to the community even though he makes his money in gambling and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And when that guy dies, Idris Elba's character, I guess, takes over his territory. And when Denzel starts selling drugs, he's like, you got to give me 20% of your cut. And Denzel's like, I don't think so. And then, like, once Denzel starts building his empire, he's eating breakfast in this diner he goes to with his brothers and sees Idris Elba on the street, walks up to him and just shoots him, and then, like, goes back to the restaurant to eat his breakfast. Like,
That's
it was
cool.
no
Wow.
big deal.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes in the film.
And then he puts the cup down, then he puts
Yeah.
the money in.
Yeah, he puts the cup down and puts money in.
And says, there's your 20%.
Well, okay, then that settles it. I'm gonna have to go back and revisit this pretty quick.
I mean, he's the reason to watch this movie. And I don't know if you guys know this. He ended up getting $40 million because he was involved in this movie. This movie was being developed before Ridley Scott got involved.
Was
Oh, wow.
Ridley Scott the first choice?
Denzel was their first choice.
No, was Ridley the first choice to direct?
Yes, but he was busy making Kingdom of Heaven. So they almost went with Brian De Palma, which would have been a really good choice, I think.
Yeah,
He probably.
Yeah.
But then a director who Denzel works with a lot, Antoine Fuqua, was involved. And it was going to star Denzel and Benicio del Toro as the cop role.
That would have been
The mo-
interesting.
The movie didn't get something with the production budget or whatever. They canceled the movie, but Denzel and Benicio still got paid. Benicio got $5 million. Denzel got 20.
Wow, for not.
And then he got another 20 when they finally made the movie
Wow.
with Ridley Scott. And another director who did it almost before Denzel got involved was the guy who did Hotel Rwanda. And it was going to be Don Cheadle and Joaquin Phoenix.
That wouldn't have worked, in my opinion.
No.
Do you think which?
Don Cheadle, I mean, Russell and Joaquin are on par with each other, but Don is no Denzel.
No, he isn't.
Is it because he's not as charismatic? Because I do think Cheadle's a very gifted actor.
He's gifted, but after seeing him in that new Space Jam movie, I'm kind of thinking, you've never really been a good actor, sir. And he can't do accents because in Ocean's 11, you know.
That's true.
Not what Cockneys sound like, guys.
It's true. It is a terrible accent. I don't even know why he's doing one in Ocean's 11.
Because they wanted Ewan McGregor originally.
Okay, well, change
So
up the
they were-
character.
They were like,
If you
we need a British guy stat. And then they were like, well, we're not paying for one. And then they were like, okay, Don.
I
You're
guess
up.
they couldn't
Give
get who's in. Well, you got what's his face could have done it, but maybe he wasn't in American movies yet. Who plays Denzel's brother in
What
this?
Tallagia for?
Yeah, he could have done it.
Yeah, he would have.
He would've done.
He would have been brilliant.
We would have.
Yeah, he's a great.
So-
He's great.
So I think Russell Crowe gets involved in this because of Ridley Scott. I think is the reason.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is a decent role. I think Denzel is the MVP of the movie, though. But Russell Crowe's,
He got the Oscar nomination for this.
yeah. But he plays a cop who is an honest cop, though the real Richie Roberts was not happy with the portrayal of himself in this movie because apparently Richie did not have a child, so that whole subplot of him and his wife fighting over custody was added into the movie. I don't know, maybe to give his character a little more. I don't know, maybe to get us to connect with him more because
Yeah,
I think
That's about 80% of law enforcement in America is going to be like a broken home or something. I mean, I I joke, but it's rampant through law enforcement.
Oh yeah.
So I can kind of
But-
see where they put it in there to thicken the plot. But if it didn't happen, I can also see where he would be upset too, because
Yeah. But I think they're trying to do the Heat thing where we show you both sides of the criminal and the cop, and they want us to kind of connect and feel a connection with both characters.
humanize them a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
this-
compare this film to Heat because Heat's more of an action film, whereas this
Yeah.
one's more of a drama.
That's true. It's usually the go-to comparison when they try to do this, heavyweight actors, one playing the cop, one playing the crook sort of thing.
There are also amazing actors in this movie. Josh Brolin is fantastic as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Josh Brolin is fantastic as the corrupt cop, and this is like the year of Josh Brolin because this is the year of No Country for Old Men and Planet Terror. Yeah, he's just oozing scuzz. Like he's worse than like whatever Denzel's doing, and Josh Brolin's worse. And we kind of find out through the course of the movie that that's what Russell Crowe is more interested in busting is corrupt cops than drug dealers.
So in a way, Brolin's more the antagonist of this movie.
Yeah, and you can't stand him either, right? He's just like an a-hole too. Like he tells Russell Crowe, like, you gotta tell me when you come into New York, and like
Well, at least with Frank Lucas, he brought his whole family a house.
Yeah.
yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And he shot Frank's dog, so he's a horrible human being.
Yeah.
You better be glad John Wick doesn't exist in this universe.
Yes. Because otherwise we'd be having words.
Oh, he would.
No, there'd be no words. There'd be a pencil in his throat.
I also
Yeah.
recognised the face from the Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh yeah.
Colonel Teese. He played Russell's detective partner. He was the villain in Fast 4.
Oh yeah, that guy.
He was also,
John
He
Ortiz.
was also in King Kong Skull Island.
Yeah, he's another one. This movie's chock full of character actors of like
Yeah,
people
yeah.
you recognize. You may not know their name.
One of the greatest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ted Levine, whose most famous role is playing a serial killer, but then goes on to just play cops the rest of his life.
In Shutter Island, he plays a warden.
Yeah. Okay. Still kind of a cop though.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is what that becomes his go-to role. You know who almost was cast in the Brolin role?
Who?
James Gandolfini.
That would have been good, actually.
That would have been.
That would have been
Oh
good.
yeah, I could see that.
I could see that.
And they really, at one point, wanted Ray Liotta, maybe earlier when this film was being developed.
Better than Brolin.
He would have been better.
Well, he would have been great for the corrupt cop, but they wanted him for Richie.
I watched, me and Dan watched Copland for the first time last night, and Ray Liotta's in that.
What'd you guys think of that movie?
It was good.
It was good, yeah. Not as good as American Gangster.
Maybe not, but yeah, that's a.
Yeah. Yeah, Dan didn't like The Northman.
Oh my goodness, you didn't like The Northman?
No.
Oh, that
Oh,
movie
wow.
was just like heavy metal.
Right? I
That
mean,
was
it's
gnarly.
fine, but that epic volcano fight.
Yeah, you didn't think much to it, did you, Dan?
No.
Understandable. It's been hit or miss.
Yeah,
with a lot
I've
of people,
spoken
but-
to other people that didn't think much to it either.
Yeah, I think it's mainly okay. Let me ask you this, and then we'll get back to your guys' discussion. I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack it, but say okay, you see the trailer for The Northman, and it was all action. Were you disappointed that it was kind of drawn out and a lot of dialogue? Like there was action, but it wasn't as action packed as they were showing it in the trailers.
Yeah, it was a bit drawn.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of drawn out and
Yeah.
dialogue and lengthy. Okay, that's the main issue. Like when I've talked to people about it, that's
Yeah.
kind of the issue that they've had. That in the trailer they hype it up to be this battle epic, and then it's more of a dialogue movie. So I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Sorry, back to you.
But yeah, movie's chock full of guys. John Polito plays an Italian gangster. Clarence Williams plays the mentor to Denzel, Bumpy Johnson. John Hawkes is one of Russell Crowe's guys. He's a really good character actor. Legendary actress Ruby Dee. I don't know if that's. Yeah, I don't know if this was her last role, but she's really good in this as Denzel's mother.
She got her Oscar nomination for this too.
Yeah. An actress I really like that's wasted in this movie is Carla. You say her last name. She's the mom from Spy Kids. She's been in so many things. Yeah, she's wasted here as like the disgruntled ex-wife.
She's a really good actress as well.
I know, and she's just here to like complain about Russell Crowe and his BS.
Yeah. Norman Reedus is in this in a little cameo.
Yeah, briefly. Yep, as a cop.
Called Norman as well.
Yep, Cuba Gooding Jr., Joe Morton,
Legend.
Yeah, legend.
Armando Sante as an Italian, big stretch. We got, you got the RZA and Common as, I think Common is one of Denzel's brothers. I can't remember who the RZA plays in this though. But did you guys know that Jay-Z did a whole album based off this movie?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you guys remember this show in the mid 2000s called Desperate Housewives, but this actor is a theater actor. But Roger Bart, who plays the U.S. attorney that chews out Russell Crowe when they're like doing the search of the dead bodies for the heroin.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's He's a pretty well-known actor.
He was in something I watched recently, but I can't remember what it was.
Did I watch it with you?
I can't remember.
But yeah, this movie's chock full of recognizable actors.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I call a good cast, because they all give out incredible performances, even the ones that only appear for 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's well made, it's well looking, it's well acted. It's just, if I was gonna make a Ridley Scott Hall of Fame, I wouldn't put this movie in that.
This is in my top 10.
Yeah, it barely, it doesn't make it for me. I think
It's in my
Yeah.
I think he's made more interesting films than this. This is well made, but
This isn't like The Last Duel or Thelma and Louise or Gladiator, in my opinion. Like,
oh no,
in my
yeah.
top 5.
It's nowhere near those levels. And even maybe stuff that's not as good overall construction wise, but is more interesting from a directing standpoint than this one to me. Like,
I don't know, I prefer this to Prometheus.
yeah, but see, I feel like that's more of a Ridley Scott movie. Both of these movies feel like something his brother would have directed to me.
Not necessarily. Tony's got his own style.
He does. But yeah, it's a very well made movie, but I don't love it. I think it's just not as good as other crime films of similar nature.
That's how I feel about Slumdog Millionaire. It's a well-crafted and well-made movie. I just don't think it's the greatest film of all time.
Who says it's the greatest film of all time?
It's just because when it was released, it was obviously hyped and won Best Picture.
Yeah, I was going to say the year it came out, everyone said it.
Yeah.
I remember that.
seen it.
I mean, it won Best Picture because The Dark Knight didn't get nominated, and there wasn't much in the competition for it to beat it. Maybe Frost Nixon. That was like the only movie that was up for Best Picture that probably had a chance at beating it.
Yeah.
But what else about American Gangster do you guys like?
The action.
Yeah, the action.
The action. Yeah, there's some really good constructed scenes here, like the bus, like the final bust, and like pretty much anything with Denzel is interesting. Just his little moments of, because he seems like a man who's in control and even tempered, but it's like if you cross him, then like he has no shame of like showing what he's capable of in front of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
And they do get scenes together eventually at almost near the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're basically, I guess it's kind of like the catch me if you can scenario. Like, we catch you, but now I want you to catch like even worse people than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did they actually remain good friends, Richie and Frank Lucas?
I believe they did. But yeah, I don't think either one of them, now Frank Lucas is no longer with us, but I don't think either one of them were happy with this movie
Yeah.
and their portrayals of themselves.
Not many people do. I know Tom Hanks did a film about Sully the pilot, and the real Sully didn't like it.
Well, I haven't seen Sully, but I hear like they dramatize that out like way more than it actually was.
Yeah. I'm surprised Tom Hanks hasn't done a film with Ridley Scott.
Yeah, that's true. That's a big name director he hasn't worked with. And yeah, that's cool that Denzel got to work with Ridley at least once because he worked with Tony so much.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt ever worked with Ridley?
I'm trying to think. Has he?
Yeah, Thelma and Louise.
Yes, Thelma and Louise.
And his movie star date. Well, not his movie star, but his film debut, basically.
Yes, pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So overall, I'd say American Gangster rating for me is 4.5.
4.5. That's a pretty high rating.
Yeah, same with me and all.
Yeah, 4.5.
4.5.
I guess I'm gonna be the bad guy. I'm gonna give it a 3.5.
You only find this film above average, not in the good tier.
Well, I still think 3.5 is a good tier.
True.
Yeah, it's not a 2.5.
No.
I think it's an above average gangster crime movie that's elevated by the direction and the acting, but I think there are better movies of this genre.
Well, it's not on the same level as films like Goodfellas or The Godfather.
Yeah, it's nowhere near that. And also, this came out in a stacked year of really well-made movies. So,
My favourite film from 2007 is a British comedy film,
and what is it?
Hot Fuzz.
Oh yeah, see, that movie is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who their second choice was if Denzel didn't do the movie?
Who?
Will Smith.
That could have worked.
It could have done. They could have got Chris Rock.
They could have got.
Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay.
Except he
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be shooting it instead.
Have you guys seen the previous movie Denzel and Russell Crowe did together?
No.
Which one's that?
Which one's that?
It's a cheesy 90s movie called Virtuosity, where Russell Crowe plays a virtual reality killer that gets set loose, and Denzel's a cop that has to stop him.
I have to check that out. I have to check that out.
But yeah, I think they did a really great job of like trying to keep the aesthetic of a 70s crime movie.
Yeah.
But it's not at the level of like a Serpico or a French Connection movie though.
Yeah.
But it's a solid film, and it's the better of the two films we're going to talk about. But I guess if you guys are ready, I guess we'll talk Body of Lies.
Yeah.
Yes, which I watched for the first time today.
Which I reckon.
Oh.
Which Dan recommended me. You got this for me on DVD years. It's always slipped my mind, this movie. And when you were doing Ridley Scott film, I thought, well, I might as well talk Body of Lies so I can kill two birds with one stone.
Well, there you go. Okay, well, you know, two big movie stars teaming up again. Russell Crowe, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes, and I've seen both films with them in, and I think this is the better one.
Really?
Oh man, I so enjoy Quick and the Dead more than this.
Yeah, Quick and the Dead. Well, Quick and the Dead's all right for a 90s cheesy western, but it does kind of feel like what's the Upon a Time rip-off of a woman to the Bronson.
Yeah.
It's totally playing on Once Upon a Time in the West. But this movie's very much a product of a post 9/11 thriller, right?
I mean, the one thing that wouldn't be made today is Mark Strong playing an Asian person.
No, that wouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. Even though he's good because he's Mark Strong. Yeah, that's like, nah, they went.
He's half Italian, so it doesn't work.
I mean, honestly, that's how Hollywood worked for decades, guys. They were like, oh, you're a percentage of something, then you can play any race.
Is that how Alfred Molina's got away with playing every ethnicity going?
Yep, that's how, they were like, oh, Eli Wallach, you're Jewish. You can play a Mexican. It's fine. Like, any actor that's remotely not fair, not like completely white, they're like, oh, you can play anything. You got a little bit.
Let me just be like De Niro and be a mix of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Strong is better when he's playing the antagonist role.
He's great as a villain, and like I like him bald too.
Yeah, he doesn't suit hair.
But the craziest thing about this movie is Russell Crowe deciding that he needed to gain 60 pounds for his character. I think he just wanted to eat.
I don't get why he started to gain like loads of weight for roles now.
Yeah, I don't get.
Doesn't he miss being skinny and hunky like in the 2000s?
Well, I got when he did it like back in the day for The Insider because he was playing a real person, right?
Yeah.
And that's a really good performance from him. And then, he goes from The Insider to Gladiator, which is insane. But yeah, I think he just wants to eat. I think he likes to eat, which I can't blame him. But yeah, I don't think it's like anything he had to do for the character. I think he's just like, oh my god, he's got glasses and a southern accent. And he likes to eat cereal
and sushi.
Yeah. I mean, he's pretty much eating almost in every scene when he's on the phone with Leo in this movie.
Just like in Ocean's 11 where Brad Pitt's eating or drinking something.
Yeah, but Brad Pitt didn't gain 60 pounds for his movie, which I don't think Brad Pitt would ever do that. I don't think he's a method actor like that.
No, he's just chill.
He went the Marlon Brando route.
Yeah, and I don't really understand.
So one day Russell's going to show up on set, overweight, and say, right, what am I doing?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I like Russell Crowe as an actor, but I don't understand like his need for that sort of thing. This is the second movie though where Ridley Scott's wife plays Russell Crowe's wife in a movie.
Maybe they got some kinky thing going on.
Probably.
Because she played Maximus's wife in Gladiator.
Ooh.
And she's in this movie as Russell Crowe's wife again.
Maybe she secretly fancies Russell.
Probably.
I mean, I guess, wasn't he considered handsome at one time?
Yeah, I'm assuming he has.
He's got a bit of a temper problem, though, which I've heard Ridley Scott does, too.
That's probably why they get along so well.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So I am surprised that Leo did this movie. Maybe he just wanted to work with Ridley Scott, because I feel like usually when Leo wants to work with a big name director, it's because this is a more interesting project. And not that this movie's bad, it's just, compared to like most of the things Leo involves himself in, it seems like a standard Hollywood movie to me.
Yes, it doesn't feel like something Scorsese or Spielberg would do.
Yeah, like if this wasn't directed by Ridley Scott, I wonder if people would even. Well, it probably is still kind of one of those movies. Like, oh yeah, that movie that exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't recognize Oscar Isaac in it at first.
Well, yeah. So see, I haven't seen this movie since, God, I think 2009, whenever it came out to rent.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who Oscar Isaac was yet in 2009, so I didn't know he was in this movie till I watched it yesterday.
He's only been a big celebrity for 9 years.
I think I know he's in Robin Hood as Prince John. And that might be the first thing I remember seeing him in, but I think the thing I remember recognizing him in is Sucker Punch, where he plays the evil orderly.
I didn't know who he was till I first watched Inside Llewyn Davis. I watched that because it was directed by the Coen brothers.
Yeah, that was a big. Even though that wasn't a huge popular hit, I think that was a big turning point for him as an actor.
Yeah. So I didn't watch Drive till years later.
Yeah, that's right. He's in Drive too. So yeah. Another guy I didn't know who's in this that also worked with the Coens is Michael Stuhlbarg.
Yes, I
he's-
saw him. I remember seeing him briefly.
Yeah, it's like one scene he's on the phone with Leo,
Yeah,
and then it's over.
yeah. He looks like Joaquin Phoenix as well.
They do have similar features.
Sure.
Who do you think gives the better performance, Leo or Russell?
Leo.
Leo.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's just him as an actor. He's kind of playing pretty much the Leo movie star role he plays, except that I guess he's slightly less tortured in this movie, but he's still tortured because, right, he's an operative, he's in the fences, he speaks the language, like he respects the culture, right?
Yeah.
And
I don't think he would have got away with disguising himself as an Arab.
no, dude, you're too white. You're too white, Leo.
Yeah.
Wouldn't work. No, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they make this movie at least watchable. I think if this was different actors, this movie would be boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like you wouldn't even care what's going on. It's just they elevate it. I forget the actor's name. I've seen him in a ton of stuff. The guy that basically is running the ops from his home. That guy, I like him whenever he shows up in a movie. Usually,
Is that Simon Burney?
Yeah, that's his name.
He was in The Theory of Everything.
Still need to watch that.
It's good.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of things, but he's just one of those actors. He's just good, whatever he's doing, however long he's in the movie.
Definitely. I'll say he's a bit of a character actor.
Oh, for sure. I'd say him and Mark Strong are both character actors. Michael Stuhlbarg.
Not really, because Mark Strong's had a couple of leading roles.
He has, but he's not a huge name over here. Like we just know him as the guy that plays the bad guys.
What's Mid Grimsby?
So you're not seen Brothers Grimsby then?
No, I haven't.
So there's a really funny scene with him involving elephants in it.
Yeah.
Isn't that him and Sacha Baron Cohen?
Yes, they're long lost brothers.
You can tell him if you want.
Yeah. And there's this funny scene involving elephants.
Okay.
Just tell him what happened.
Yeah. Basically, they hide inside an elephant while the other elephant is having sex with the other elephant and it comes on his face.
Oh, Lord.
You won't be able to look at Mark Strong the same way afterwards. He
I
took
can
it like
see.
a champ.
Yeah.
I don't think Sacha Baron Cohen was born with dignity anyway.
No. But I commend the guy for what he did for the second Borat movie, even though sometimes his comedy can be off-putting because, yeah. I like that he exposed Rudy Giuliani for the schmuck he is.
Yeah.
And won him a Razzie when he's not even an actor.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I don't know who adjusts their pants by laying on the bed. That's just creepy, sir.
He is a creepy guy.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is he was once a respected politician.
Do you think
And
Trump got to him?
I mean, he was always a bit of a hardcore conservative, but he got a lot of praise for what he did when he was mayor of New York City.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess he's just under that spell that so many people are for whatever reason that I don't understand.
Definitely.
But so what do you guys like about this movie?
The action.
Same as Robbie in the action.
Yeah. I mean, it's right up there with like a Jack Ryan type of thriller.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as good as like the Bourne movies of this era, which I guess are
No, not at all.
yeah.
And that Michael Bay one I watched is one of his latest movies with John Krasinski. I thought that was better as well.
Oh, about Benghazi, 13 Hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably is a tad better made than this. I'm not a big fan of that one.
Yeah. With Ridley Scott, he always seems like more of a director for hire than an auteur.
Well, here's my thing. I think he is a bit of an auteur because you can most of the time
He never writes his own scripts.
No, but neither does David Fincher, but you consider him an auteur, don't you?
Well, yeah, but he's not. But I always see an auteur as a guy who writes screenplays as well.
Well, then that limits to Spielberg's not an auteur then, and
Yeah, so Spielberg has written a screenplay. He's wrote a screenplay made into a movie this year.
yes, but
The
it's only a handful of movies. He doesn't always write the screenplays. It's only a handful of times. It's The Fabelmans, it's
Close
Encounters, and I forget the other one, but it's only a handful of his movies has he actually written the script for.
Nolan's written all his films, and so is Paul Thomas Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
Tarantino,
the Coen brothers. But, like, Scorsese doesn't write all his scripts.
he wrote Goodfellas.
He did. But yeah, David Fincher doesn't write any of his scripts, but people consider him an auteur.
Well, in all fairness, he does everything else himself.
Tim Burton only wrote Edward Scissorhands. But he kind of feels like a director for hire now.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, doing Disney films and Netflix stuff, yeah.
But I think Ridley Scott, where you really see his vision is in his historical epics or when he does a sci-fi movie. I think those are more his lane of what he's interested in. And I think he does a lot of these other movies to finance the films he really wants to do.
Both movies are better than House of Gucci.
Oh, definitely. They're both better than House of Gucci. I would agree. But that's because even though Russell Crowe's doing a Southern accent, it's not as atrocious as Jared Leto's Italian accent.
I thought Lady Gaga and Al Pacino were the better two because they're actually part Italian.
Yeah, and I can't believe no one was like mad at Jared Leto for doing his Super Mario voice in front of them.
Or Jeremy Irons, as he still sounded British.
Yeah.
Jeremy Irons was just like, I'm not doing it. No. Which, good for him, right? If he knows.
I think they should have stuck with De Niro for that role.
He wouldn't have done a real Italian accent. He would have just been Robert De Niro. But he is Italian.
That's what you needed. Adam Driver's a bit like De Niro, where he's a bit of everything, isn't he?
I guess so, because he's going to play an Italian again, because he's going to play Ferrari in Michael Mann's next movie.
What's that film?
Ferrari, it's about the making of Ferrari.
I'll have to watch that.
Yeah.
I hope that film's like Ford versus Ferrari.
I think it's going to be a little bit because Michael Mann was involved in that movie before James Mangold took over. And it was going to be more about both sides. So I guess that's why he's making the Ferrari movie so we can get more of the Ferrari side of it.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to
Michael Mann
deal.
would have been good at directing Body of Lies.
He would have.
I think Michael Mann would have been good at directing both of these movies. They feel like they probably would have had a little more pizzazz to them if Michael Mann directed them, if that makes
If you had to
sense.
pick an alternative director for American Gangster, Spike Lee would have been a good choice.
Spike Lee would have been a great choice. I think he would have probably made it more. I think he would have done more with it, with the material.
Or, yeah, Guy Ritchie would have been good with American Gangster.
But Spike Lee kind of already made a fictional version of this that basically is the backdoor pilot for the because the guy that created The Wire wrote the script and the book it's based off of, which is Clockers.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically kind of like this movie.
Which see that one.
You should check it out for one reason. Delroy Lindo, very underrated actor who's amazing.
Yeah, he is amazing.
It's a really well done movie. It's an underrated Spike Lee movie people don't talk about.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your final thoughts on Body of Lies then?
Solid thriller. If I caught it on cable in the middle of the day, I'd watch it, but it's not one of my favorite Ridley Scott movies.
Definitely not.
I'll give it 2.5.
I'll give it about a 3.5.
I'm gonna give it a 3.
Ah, so you're in the middle of us then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfectly adequate. It's enjoyable, but not great.
Yeah, like I'd say you say that only cinephiles and like fans of Scott, that'd be for Body of Lies. I think American Gangster's more accessible than Body of Lies.
Body of Lies, I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Body of Lies is a total dad movie. Like, I think my dad likes this movie, or he did when he rented it. He probably doesn't remember watching it if I told him about this movie now. I think American Gangster is better. It is a little bit better well written, but that's because probably Steve Zalian wrote the script.
Yeah.
And it's got Denzel Washington in it, so that always elevates your movie.
Yeah.
So, but I just don't think American Gangster is like one of the best crime movies.
No, it's not one of the best, but it's still solid.
Still solid film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have much else to say about Body of Lies other than, yeah, it's a solid action thriller made especially during those post 9/11 one, you know, the war was still fairly new.
Yeah.
And not 20 years into it.
Yeah.
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 I may or may not get to
the
that.
director who would have been good with Body of Lies is Catherine Bigelow.
Oh yeah, because you know Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. So
yeah, and I love both movies more than Body of Lies.
Well, that's because they're both great movies. But yeah, this is Zero Dark 30 is a much better movie than Body of Lies. It's kind of dealing with similar subject matter.
Better performances.
Yeah, I would agree. Even though there's not as big a name of actors, it's definitely really good.
They're big names, but they're kind of like the pass-on generation with Zero Dark 30 because Chris Pratt's now a star. You know, Carl Chandler's been in a lot since. Jason Clarke's a star. Joel Edgerton's a star. Jessica Chastain's one of the biggest actresses in the world now.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it was just right before any of them were bigger named. Or
Stephen Lane was in Game of Thrones after this.
What's that?
Stephen Delane, the one that plays Stannis Baratheon. He was in Zero Dark 32.
Oh, great. You also have one of James Gandolfini's last roles.
Yes.
It sounds like Black Hawk Down.
And John Barrowman from Doctor Who. Doctor Who
That's-
actor was in Zero Dark 30.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that when I watched it. I was like, oh, it's Captain Jack. Too bad he's the naughty boy.
Yeah.
Yes, very naughty boy. Like doing appropriate things.
Who's that?
Yep.
Like Barrowman.
Ah,
Because I love that character on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, thanks for coming on, guys. Sorry these weren't more exciting movies to delve
The
into.
American Gangster was the most exciting out of the two.
oh,
of
it
them.
was. Thanks. For
Yeah,
Yes, thank you for having us, Cody.
absolutely. It's a pleasure having you guys. Is there anything you guys want to plug or mention before we call it?
Vendetta.
Yes, you should check out the Danny Dyer film Vendetta. It's one of Dan's favourite movies.
Okay.
And yeah, if you want to, obviously, Cody, you're now my TV show. Talk. Yeah, we do a new. I do a new spin-off show called TV Talk. Cody is now my co-host, so he'll be joining me once a week to talk about TV. And obviously, I've got the Flemming Film Show coming up with Justin soon. And obviously, today on my website, Robbie's Reviews, I've got a top 5 favourite Russel Crowe films. So make sure you check that out on robbiesreviews.co.uk.
Did either of these movies make the list?
American Gangster did, yes.
Oh, it did.
Yes.
Did I guess is Gladiator number 1?
Well, that'll be ruining it for everybody then.
What about The Insider?
I've not seen The Insider yet.
Oh, well, you need to go watch that movie.
I haven't seen that either, so I need to watch that.
Yes. Yes.
Something for both of us to watch.
Yes. The Insider.
Now, you have seen LA Confidential, though, now.
I've seen that loads of times.
Okay. It's another good Russell Crowe performance.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to think what other really... I mean, of course, there's A Beautiful Mind. That's, you know...
Yeah.
Yeah, he got nominated for an Oscar 3 years in a row.
Oh,
Insider, Gladiator, and A Beautiful Mind.
Yes, and that's the next film I'm talking to you about, isn't it?
Oh,
Another film before then.
I'm sure we probably will. I haven't even started with that one. I'm really trying to just crank these Ridley Scott ones out.
Well, that was it, All the Money in the World.
Yeah, another, which I've never seen that movie. And all.
So that'll be a good first choice. And Dan's always happy to come back on again, aren't you, Dan?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, Dan. And it doesn't have to be a Ridley Scott movie either. It can be anything you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet.
And
Good to see you again, Chris.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Chris. And you,
Yes, thanks. Thanks for letting me sit in and be the voice that floats in every once in a while. So I had fun.
Apologies if we didn't talk much about Body of Lies. It's
Not really a film to
talk about.
Like
yeah,
years.
there's not a lot to delve into. It's definitely a product of its time.
Yeah,
and it is what it is. It's a dad thriller. So if you like Russell Crowe or Leonardo DiCaprio, you might enjoy.
Movies. They have better
They both have better movies, but if you enjoy either one of them as actors, you might like this movie. But yeah, not going in the Ridley Scott Hall of Fame for me.
No.
You want to ask Cody to make reference to it?
Yes, I do. Right.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And anybody watching, this will be on YouTube, Facebook, our Facebook page, and our Twitter page. So thanks for watching. We'll be back later tonight to do spooky season, we're talking Killer Clowns from Outer Space and the Monster Squad.
Ooh, have fun talking
fun.
about them.
Yeah, we will see. All right. Everybody enjoy your weekend, and
Yes, enjoy your weekend.
goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.